Sri Radha Krishna ko Gopna Sam Kund Radha Kund Griyo ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadip Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Dwarka Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivedanta ki jai, all glory to the all glory to the Thank you very much. Meeting when Yoga Adhyatmika Purusha Matu Nisrash Ayone Adhyanta Purati Jatra Dukkhasaja Yugasya. Everyone in this material world trying to mitigate or trying to become free from the distress, dukkha, atmantika dukkha nirvitti. Atmantika means supreme. The struggle for existence in this material world, everyone is trying to get some happiness and minimize the quantity of distress. This is called struggle for existence. Generally, yoga practice is executed for getting some material profit. Animan, Lagima, Prapti, Ishita, Goshita, Mahima, Anima. The yogis, they have Ashtasiddhi yoga, 8 kinds of perfection, biggest. Whatever he likes, he can get immediately. Ishita, he can control over, he can create a planet. These are some of the yoga siddhis. But here it is said that the supreme yoga system is not to aspire for material happiness, neither to become distressed by the material inconvenience. This is perfection. Everyone is trying to get out of the material distress and get some happiness. But anything material, happiness, so-called happiness, or so-called distress, just like here, the firework is going on. It is happiness for somebody, but it is distress for us. Is it not? They are thinking they are enjoying, and we are thinking it is inconvenient. So that is material. Happiness, one side happiness, another side distress. Both the happiness and distress, they are illusion. Illusion. There are many examples. Just like water in summer season, it is happiness. And in winter season, it is distress. But the same water at one time, it is happiness, and the same water at one time, it is distress. The same sun, when he is born, it is happiness, and the same sun, when it is dead, it is distress. The sun is the same. So, this material world is duality. You cannot understand happiness without distress. And you cannot understand distress without happiness. That word is called relative. You cannot understand son without understanding a father. And you cannot understand a father without understanding the son. And spiritual happiness is above this duality. Spiritual happiness. That is the perfection of yoga adhyatmika. Adhyatmika. Atma, the soul, the happiness of the soul. That is real yoga. The happiness of the soul can be possible when the soul, individual soul, is with the super soul or the supreme soul. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. There is the supreme soul, the supreme being. Amongst there are many living beings. We are many. The living beings, the living entities. We are many. But the principal living being is Krishna. The fire and the sparks. The sparks are illuminated when it is with the original fire. If the sparks fall down from the association of the original fire, it is extinguished, no more light. Similarly, our real happiness is when we enjoy his friends, either gopis or the cowherd boys, or with his father, he'll never find Krishna alone. That's why here is Krishna. Krishna is not alone. Krishna is with Radharani and with his devotees. Just like a king. When we say that the king is coming here or the president is coming here, see, it means that president is not coming alone, but he's coming with his secretaries, with his ministers, with so many others. In England, the Queen has bodyguards. So, similarly, when yoga, adhyatmika, yoga means connection, and atma means this soul actually, but sometimes atma means the mind, atma means the body also. The body has nothing to do with the Supreme Being, because Supreme Being is complete spirit. He has no material covering. One who thinks that Krishna, the Supreme Being, has got material covering, covered by Maya, as we are covered by Maya, this material energy. Krishna is not like that. Krishna says, Sambhavami Atmamaya. Krishna does not say that I come here as ordinary living. Janma karmam me deepam, ju janati tattva. One has to learn how Krishna takes part. It is not ordinary birth. And if in ordinary birth, then why we should observe the Janmashtami ceremony? It is deepam, divine, transcendent. Everything of Krishna is divine. And if we think Krishna as like us, then according to the statement of the Bhagavad Gita, immediately we become a mudha, avajananti mana mudha, manasim tanumas. So, actually Krishna is the original Supreme Being, original Spirit Soul. We are simply minute part and parcel of Krishna. Exactly the same example. That is the fire and the small spark. You can see this firework is going on. The fire is there and there are a small spark. So long the fire and the small sparks are together, there is illumination. Similarly, if we connect with Krishna, then we are illuminated. As Krishna is illuminated, we are also illuminated, although we are small. But if we fall down from Krishna, the original path, we become extinguished. Our spiritual power, our spiritual illumination becomes extinguished. Therefore, yoga system means again connecting the link. That is called yoga. The Sanskrit word means connect, and yoga means disconnect. So, here it is. Kapildev is Bhagavan. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of God. Bhagavan has no mistake. Bhagavan, Narayana Para Apraktya, in Shankaracharya says that Bhagavan, Narayana, he does not belong to this material world. Narayana Apraktya Para. So, when you speak of Bhagavan or or the Shastra says Bhagavan. Bhagavan means above material understanding. Dibbam, above material understanding. Para, above material understanding. So here it is said, Bhagavan Uvacha. Even he does not say Vyasdev, Kopil Dev Uvacha. No. Similarly in Bhagavad Gita also, Vyasdev says, Krishna says actually, but Vyasdev says, Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan means above the defects of this material world. That is Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not subjected to the deficiencies of this material world. There are 4 deficiencies in the material, just like we are concerned in the material world. We are not perfect because we commit mistake. We are illusion from Brahma and Vipralipsa. We try to cheat others. I have no knowledge, still I become teacher or preacher. That is cheating. We have no perfect knowledge. Therefore, our principle is to teach what Bhagavan says. We don't manufacture teaching. This is not our business. As they manufacture, they say, the ordinary, so-called scholars and learned men, they give their opinion, especially in the Western world. There are so many philosophical speculations, each one giving his own mental gymnastics. That philosophy is not perfect. We have to take ideas from Bhagavan. That is perfect. Therefore here it is said, Bhagavan Uvacha. If we take instruction from God, why we are reading Bhagavad Gita? That is very common practice. Because it is perfect. There is no mistake. There is no illusion. There is no cheating. There is no imperfection of the senses. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Vedaham samiti dani. I know everything, past, present and future. Marcha vidana kashchana, but nobody understands me. That is our God knows everything. Krishna knows everything. But we do not know what is God. That is our, we do not know. Ishara sarvabhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. Ishara, God, Krishna, is situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridishan nivishya. I have entered in everyone's heart. Everyone's heart, not only the human being, but also animals or anything. Andantarasthang paramanuchayantarasthang govindamadi putsam tavangamani. He is within the atom. Therefore, because he is within me, within you, and within everything, he knows everything. That Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani. He knows everything. Because he knows everything, therefore we have to take lesson from Bhagavan. What Bhagavan says, we say, take. That is perfect knowledge. There is a parampara system as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. So, our business, Krishna conscious people, our business is very easy. because we don't manufacture ideas. We take the idea and the words delivered by the Supreme Person, Krishna, or his incarnation, or his representative. His representative does not say anything which the master does not say. Representative is very easy. You can become representative of Krishna if you do not interpret Krishna's words in your whimsical way. Krishna says, Matta paratarang nannat kinchijasti dhananjaya. There is no more superior authority than me. And if you take it as it is, and if you speak to the people that there is no more superior authority than Krishna, then you become Guru. You become Guru. Don't change, then you become. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed this. Amar akai Guru Bhaiya Taro Eides. We are preaching. So, we are preaching everyone from country to country. Of course, he did not go outside India, within India. And he was instructing that you learn from me and teach your people within this village, within this country. Amar akai Guru Bhaiya Taro Eides. Eides means this country or this place where you are living. Then Amara Kai Guru, you become Guru. So one may think that I am illiterate, I have no education, I am not born in very high family, how I can become Guru? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that it is not very difficult. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upad. You simply speak whatever Krishna speaks, then you become Guru. So anyone who does not speak what Krishna has spoken, he is not Guru, he is a rascal. He cannot be Guru. He is Guru who speaks only what Krishna has spoken. This is the Shastric injunction. Satkarma Nipna Vipra Mantra Tantra Visharad Avaishnava Guru Nasasya Shat Vaishnava Sapacha Guru. This is the definition of Guru. Then one Brahman, born in Brahmana family and very educated, Mantra Tantra Visharad, very expert in reciting Vedic mantras. That is the duty of Brahmana, Veda. Mantra Tantra Visharad. But all Vaishnava, if he is not Vaishnava or if he is not follower of the instruction of Vishnu or Krishna, all Vaishnava Guru Nasasya, he cannot become Guru. And Shat Vaishnava Sapacha. Sapacha means the dog eater. That is considered the lowest of the mankind. Dog eaters, in Chandala, Bangi. He can become Guru. How? If he is Vaishnava, he is devoted of Vishnu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is his mission. Amar akai Guru Haiya Taro Eides. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna. So if we simply take the words of Bhagavan and preach, then it is very easy for us to become each and every one, to become Guru. Not to exploit, but to give knowledge. And what is that knowledge? What Krishna has spoken. That's all. So, even one is not very learned scholar, Sanskrit scholar, everyone has got this ear. He can hear from Krishna and Krishna's representative and assimilate what is spoken by Krishna, and he can repeat the same, then he becomes. That is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, Bharat Bhumite Manusya Janma Haila Cha Janma Sarthak Kari Karo Paro. To become Guru means Paropoka. People are in the darkness. So they have to be enlightened. That is the Vedic injunction. Uttisthata, Jagrata, Praptaparan Nibodhata. Now, people from animal kingdom, we are getting this human body. So, up to animal body, we are sleeping. Pato nidra jao maya pisachira. In the wrap of this material nature, now this human form of body is meant for getting up. So, the mission is to awaken people to Krishna consciousness. To awaken people to Krishna consciousness. Jivi jago, pura chando pota. Pura chand means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to everyone. Oh, the living entity, get up, get up. Kato nidra jao maya pisachira. How long he shall sleep? So here is the same thing. Yoga adhyatmika pumsam. This is the prime business. To connect yourself again your soul with the Supreme. Yoga adhyatmika pumsam. Mato nisrasaya me. He said that this is my instruction, that one should be awake to Krishna consciousness and connect himself again with Krishna. That is adhyatmika. Not to show some gymnastic magic, no. This is the best yoga. Krishna has also said in the Bhagavad Gita, Yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana sadhyamana bhajati jomang samijuktatamo. The first class yogi is he who Yoginam api sarvesam. There are many yogis. There are many different types of yoga system. And all the yoga system are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. Hatha yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga, so many yoga systems. But the real yoga system, the first class yoga system is to revive your connection with Krishna. That is first class. Here it is also. Yoga adhyatmika pumsam. Adhyatmika. We are living entities, soul. We are not disconnected, but we are forgone. Disconnection cannot be. That is not possible. But it is covered. Naham prakasa sarvasya yoga maya samavritaha. And there is yoga, and there is a yoga maya. Yoga maya means forgetfulness. So, Kapil Dev is Bhagavan. He is advising Bhagavan that this is first class yoga. Adhyatma about the soul. Soul, first of all you have to understand what is soul. At the present moment, people are so much in darkness, they do not understand what is soul. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita teaches first to understand what is the soul. What is the soul? Dehinasmin yatha dehi. Dehi, that soul. Dehi means the proprietor of the body. We are thinking I am this body. No, I am not this body. I am the proprietor of this body. That is the real understanding of myself. I am not. We say also, this is my finger, this is my head, this is my leg. Nobody says I head or I finger. Nobody says. Everyone says my head. So I am the proprietor of this body. And then I am under the influence of Maya. This body has been given by Maya, the material energy. Prakite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Ahamkaram vivaratma kattaham iti mannati. And we have got different types of body. I have got this body, you have got another body, the dog has got another body, cat has got another body. Why there are so many bodies? Why not one kind of body? That is also stated in the Karanam Gunasanga Asa. Karanam. The reason is that the Dehi within the body, the soul, is associating with different types of the modes of material nature. Karanam Gunasanga Sadasat Janma Jonishu. Therefore, he is getting different types of body. It is naturally going on. You haven't got to aspire for your next body, different body, it must be different body. Tathati Antara Prapti. You have to change this body. But Krishna does not say what kind of body. That will depend on your qualification. Karanam Gunasangas. Qualification. If you associate with Sadagam, then Urdham Gachanti Sattastha, then you are elevated to the higher planetary system. Madhya Tishtanti Rajasa. If you are associating with the modes of passion, then you will remain. And Jaganna Guna Vittista Adogachanti Tamasa. And if you associate with the Tamogo, then you go lower and lower. Abominable family, bird family, animal family, or trees, plants, like that. So, the 8,400,000 forms of life is due to Karanam Gunasangasya. And according to the body, there are distresses and happiness. You cannot expect in the dog's body the same happiness as a king or a very rich man is enjoying. Karanam, he has got the dog's body, he has got the king's body. Karanam. So, this happiness or that happiness, this distress or that distress, they are all due to this material body. Therefore, yoga means one has to transcend this happiness of body, distress or happiness. That is the answer. Attanta uparati tataha. If you connect yourself again with the Supreme Yoga, that is called real Yoga, then you get rid of this so-called material happiness and distress, which is due to this body. So, that is one thing. That is Artha. That is called Bhakti Yoga. To reconnect our connection with Krishna. Krishna also comes to instruct that, you rascal, sarva dharman puritajya mamekam sarva. Just revive your connection with me, rascal. Give up all this manufactured so-called types of yoga and religion. Sarva dharman. That is Krishna's instruction. That is the proof. Krishna says the same thing, and Krishna's representative or incarnation or Guru says the same thing. That is the qualification of here. Kapil Dev although he is this incarnation of Krishna, is acting as the representative of Krishna as Guru. He is saying the same thing. He does not say another. Yoga atlantika jat. Yoga atlantika pungsha. Mato nisresa. Nisresa means the ultimate benefit. Krishna also says the same thing, that Param Guyatam, I have instructed you so many things, but because you are my dear friend, I am just disclosing to you the most confidential thing. What is that? Sarvadharman Parityajya Mami. If you accept this principle, then you become actually transcendental to this so-called material happiness and distress. That is it. We should not be captivated by the material distress, or we should not be very much aggrieved by material distress, and we should not be very much happy on material happiness. These are bondage. Material happiness is not actually happiness. That is through distress. Just like we are trying to be happy, trying to be very rich, get some money, that is not very easily obtained. We have to undergo so much distress. So actually it is distress, but with the hope of getting some false happiness, we accept this distress. Actually there is no happiness. Sukham maktam trikam jatat otindriya graya. So that otindriya means spiritual senses. If we purify our senses, come to the spiritual platform, sarvapati vinimuktam tatparatina nirmalam. If we become purified, then when that senses are engaged, rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate, then that is real happiness. When you are engaged in the satisfying of the senses of Krishna, not these material senses, then that is called adhyatmic yoga or bhakti. So we have to learn bhakti yoga from Govindan. Gradually he has begun the preliminary study. Thank you.
What time he was arriving, we should go down to the gate to greet him. And I'd never seen the temple like so beautiful as they had it ready for Prabhupada's arrival. Every morning, halfway through Japa, just before the reading EDs, they would clear everybody out and clean it really nice. But the day that Prabhupada was arriving, I remember that Ramananda had put whole banana trees on the inside of the dining room throughout a lot of room. It's just this incredibly aesthetically beautiful, so clean. And then, of course, Prabhupada didn't arrive in time. There was some communication problem. So finally they heard somewhere Prabhupada had stopped and in time he would arrive. And when he arrived, he saw all the cars coming up the road. Of course, there was always a problem for the ladies. The men were like always really pushing about being up in front, and they were always wanting to be like a little closer without, getting in and having a fist fight or something like that. But when Prabhupada arrived and he came in, I remember the car behind, Pishima was in it. And so she came in, and I never knew her or met her, and I wasn't even sure who she was. I someone told me who she was. And I noticed how after Prabhupada offered the basis of the duties, everyone crowded down around the Vyasa. But Pishima came in, and she went up by the deities and sat herself, and she was opening the bag and giving little things there. And so I went over and sat there and thought, well, this is very nice. And right here, here's the deities. You can actually see Prabhupada. And I have no problem because I'm on their speaker, so I can hear him. So it really made the whole rest of the visit in Mayapur peaceful for me, because it wasn't really necessary to physically get in a fight or something to try to squish right up next to me. Actually, it was a nice position, and I actually then got an appreciation of seeing Prabhupada surrounded with devotees. So I always liked that, just appreciating seeing him happily surrounded by devotees.
The best time of day is actually when Prabhupada came for the morning program. We go out for the morning walk. The Prabhupada would always come back exactly the same time for the ashram. And that's quite difficult. Oftentimes you live down from Ganga, even over the Yamuna side, across all the rough grounds and everything, but there's no proper road. But somehow running was exactly the same time. Except we'll be completely clean. No one will allow them to take before Prabhupada came. No one could step foot on the marble after being clean. And then there are flowers outside the cave showering when Prabhupada came. Usually Prabhupada would come and walk towards right away. Then he would come and take ashram. And then run away. Sometimes he would say different things. One time he said that grandmother had cancer. And another time he said, you see her grandmother, she's holding her right hand out in front of the touched. She's puffing a bubble up pipe. Sometimes you see Radharani, she's got her palm held out forward, giving benediction lesson. You see when Radharani is holding this offering to pipe to Krishna, you see Krishna can never do it.
That was a big conversation in World War III. Two devotees just got real close and then started probing. Prabhupada said the war would start between India and Pakistan. Then Prabhupada said after the war, preaching would be very good. Devotees were saying, well, what should we do? Should we start the farm? Yes. And he said, but we don't care. We look up in the sky. He said, we'll just look up and see the bomb. Here comes Krishna. Same thing in Mayapur when the snake was there. He said, we don't care. If Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. So he didn't express any concern on that part. It was in reference to preaching. How the war would affect preaching and how it would be better after the war. Not that we were afraid of the war or death. Well, we used to walk in these little single files, like along the little paths, between the paths. He said something to the effect like, Prabhupada, how do we understand that the spiritual master knows everything? And Prabhupada said, no one can know everything. Only Krishna knows everything. He said, the spiritual master knows whatever Krishna wants him to know. And he also said, the spiritual master knows everything his spiritual master has given. So in that sense, he knows everything. But only Krishna knows everything.
I'll tell you this. From the time I met him in Lower East Side until his passing, he didn't make a single mistake. And he once said something like this about his group. He said, even when he was wrong, he was right. Every step advanced the society. I had to take a running leap across a rice paddy ditch, and Prabhupada once did it in one step, and we looked at each other. How did he do that? How did he do that? One thing, when Prabhupada came to the Mayapur temple, he praised Bhaktivedanta. Thank you for keeping everything very clean. Management means just keep everything clean.
In 1975, I was in Mayapur for the festivities, and I had the privilege of filming Srila Prabhupada when he circumambulated BRNACH and rang the bell with all the devotees dancing around him, and also on his morning walks. At one point I filmed him from behind, from Prabhupada's point of view, as he approached the temple. And in this service, I only felt support from Srila Prabhupada. I never felt that he in any way disapproved of what I was doing, but rather that he approved of it and actually encouraged him. So I took this as Prabhupada's personal mood towards the women, not just me, but towards women generally in spiritual life. It was only encouragement, enthusiasm, and appreciation of our service. So in that way, I felt personally protected, and also I think all the women in Prabhupada's society felt this protection and encouragement from Prabhupada.
Trouble to bring that bell where you can go out, and as if it's a confirmation that the right thing. Right? It's only good. I would ever probably do something out of the ordinary. Move, dance, express the ecstasy that we could feel that he was about. That kind of external confirmation of it would drive the towards mad.
That one morning as Prabhupada used to circumambulate the deities and ring the bell and the big kirtan party would go around. The whole group was pretty ecstatic that particular morning. I don't know who's leading kirtan or what. The Prabhupada was very blissful. He'd go around and ring the bell with the kirtan, blah, 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 blah. And the kids were dancing like mad out in front. And then he'd go around and ring the next bell. And then he'd come around in front of the deities. So I said, geez, I can fight these crowds. So I'm going to wait right here on this pillar in front of the deities. And then when Prabhupada comes around, then I'll be able to see it. And so, sure enough, here comes Prabhupada around. Ramanand is there. And so Prabhupada stops in front of the deities. And he starts looking at the deities a little bit. And then he folds his hands and obeisance and does a 360 and turns around. And the kirtan's going. And then finally Prabhupada all of a sudden lifts his arms up and starts dancing. And everybody just kind of went through the roof at that time. Very similar to that Rath Yatra that Prabhupada got up above the Vyasa Sangha, started to dance, and everybody just went wild. I remember seeing the reflection of a light behind me, some kind of, just golden reflection that must have been Prabhupada. But it's amazing how just seeing Prabhupada was so enlivening, so special.
From where I was sitting, I used to see Prabhupada and then Chandra on his head. Gurupa kind of white, his bald head. So he was such an aristocratic person. I just couldn't picture or think of what kind of person he was. He was so like a king, like a very aristocratic person. I just couldn't put it into words. And then I went to know what I just read is the spiritual master is the sum total of all the demons. I said, oh yeah, that's exactly how I'm saying. That fits his description, right? He is competent to, that's a pretty very good vision. He's competent to be in a position of preaching to everybody in demons. He's the sum total. And the devotees, they were offered chambers to Prabhupada. And those chambers would change colour. They would be multicolored, they would be red, blue, yellows, as they were going up and down. But where I was sitting, I could see them many, many times, many days, not only one time. And even I asked them, I said, can you see what I'm seeing? Is the chamber changing colour? And we looked and said, yeah, it is. They would actually be multicolored. I don't know if it's some trick of light or anything, but anyway, somehow or another, those chambers were changing colours.
After we constructed the Lotus building, Srila Prabhupada became aware that the devotees were very much disturbed by all the excessive silver music that was coming from over Navapuri and from Srila. And they had their gilded glasses on there, big, huge loudspeakers. They were driving us all crazy. It was really disturbing. So Prabhupada Maharaj and Bhaktivedanta mentioned this to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, blast them back. You should blast them back. So Jagdar Maharaj and Bhaktivedanta put these huge big speakers on each corner of the lotus building. Massive big things. And we played Prabhupada's bhajans. And
and our own kids. And we immediately lost it. So, because that other music, our music, but that music, you're going to get lost in it. When you get lost in our own music, rather than get lost in all that simple mundane stuff. So they started to respect the fact that we were here then, and I think some kind of a truth came up. But there was a big sound wall going on there, you know, with the heads.
During the day, we would go in parikrams. Swami was leading a parikrama at each place and explaining about the importance of all of the holy places in Mayapur. And we would all come down Bhaktivedanta Road to various spots and temples. For most of us, this was our first visit to India. Certainly my first visit. I remember some devotees telling me, this is the dust that Lord Chaitanya walked on. This is Chintamani. This is not different from the spiritual world. And that realization is unique to all of us. Prabhupada was always the center of the festival. We all came to India to see Prabhupada. And Prabhupada wanted us all to come to Mayapur every year. He felt it was very important for us, as this was the birthplace of the Hare Krishna movement. The managers were very concerned that we didn't spend too much time in India because they wanted us to come back and do Sankirtan and run the temples and preach in the West. The idea was to come to India and to get recharged and enlightened and go back and preach in the West.
I wanted to bother you, and I wanted to personally say to you, thank you for bringing us to mind. So in the darshan, we're all sitting there listening, and when it was over, everybody offered their obeisances. So I stayed down on the floor longer and offered my obeisances very, very slowly. So that when I stood up, pretty much everybody was out of me. So I walked forward to Prabhupada, sitting at his desk, and he was going to drink some water. I stepped forward and said, Srila Prabhupada. And he was just about to drink, and he said, yes. And I said, I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you for bringing us home. And Prabhupada said, he said, well, I have not brought you. Chaitanya and my Guru Maharaj, they have brought you. He said, I have work done. This is your home. The West, that is for preaching. And he drank some water. He stopped drinking water, he looked back at his mouth and said, or for sense gratification. He said, so you come every year and take inspiration here and be done. And then go back to the West and preach vigorously. And then come back again and take inspiration.
One day in the veranda outside his room in Mayapur, Prabhupada was saying to us, you have all been sent by Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur to help me in spreading this mission. And I said, Srila Prabhupada, how can that be? I said, we were born into the most low kinds of families, raised on meat and all sorts of abominable things. How could we have been sent by Bhaktivedanta Thakur? And Prabhupada looked at me and he said, that was only superficial. When you heard the holy name, you immediately came running.
In Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada had told us that we should come to the Mayapur festival to perform 5 Krishna Lila and 5 Chaitanya Lila. And we were to collect as much as we could individually to pay for the trip. And whatever we couldn't collect, he would pay from his trust. So we rehearsed every day. Then we got to Mayapur. We performed, and there was some complaint from the sannyasis of having women performing. I think Sadhguru was playing Krishna. So there was a little bit of upset, and the performances were stopped. We didn't know quite what to make